Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. We have a special holiday show here tonight. We're going to be talking with organizations that that help out the community all year long, but they have a special place in our community during the holiday season because there is a need for food, for shelter, for clothing, all sorts of things. So tonight, my first guest is going to be Ava Mikulovich from the Urban Gleaners. Thanks for being here, Ava.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yes, it's the first time I've had Urban Gleaners on here.
Yes.
So for myself and for the viewers out here, maybe you could tell me a little bit about what Urban Gleaners does, what your mission is, and a little bit about the program.
Sure. So we use the word rescue. So we rescue edible surplus food from grocery stores, restaurants, farmers markets, sometimes farms directly, and caterers that would otherwise be thrown away, and then we redistribute it to families that need it. So this food is, it's amazing food, it's fresh food. You wouldn't assume that it's going to be thrown away, but for whatever reason it's no longer saleable. Dairy that is a day till its expiration date. And even the USDA, it's perfectly good. It's good for another 2 weeks, but the stores can't sell it, or if something just looks
it's
funky.
right to their sell by date,
Exactly.
not necessarily the use by date, but the sell by
exactly.
date. Is that,
yeah. And our biggest focus now, this statistics actually just changed recently. Oregon used to have the highest rate of childhood hunger. In the most recent USDA report, we are now second in the nation, right?
Moving on down, just the way we want to go.
We got better. It was because Mississippi got worse, so we're second only to Mississippi now. Yeah,
and that's so amazing to me that we have
right.
such a high rate of childhood hunger.
Right, especially because we
appalling.
produce so much food in the state. And we're so progressive and sustainable.
So you wouldn't think that of
us. It's shocking. And so
it's disappointing.
When our executive director, Tracy Ozerin, learned of that, actually this was kind of a chicken and egg story. She had heard, she was speaking somewhere, and a parent came forward and said, are you bringing food to schools? And she kind of had an aha moment. She thought, I'm not, because before we had just been supplying it to kind of emergency food relief agencies or homeless shelters. And so she started, it was a simple bread backpack program at one elementary school in 2009, and now we're at 16 elementary schools, one high school, and each of the schools get a weekly delivery of about 500 pounds of food.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That's great. Those aha moments are something to pay attention to. Yeah, I was recently talking with Salvation Army, and they have started doing a lot of gleaning their own rescuing food, and I think it just makes so much sense because there's so much waste, and why waste it if it's perfectly good food?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so how do you go about doing that? I mean, and how many people are involved in doing this work?
So we have a staff of 3, paid staff of 3, very small, yeah. And what the staff does is we actually take the food that comes into our distribution center and deliver it to the schools. Okay. But about 90 to 95% of the food coming into our distribution center comes in through volunteer power. So we have a network of about 35 plus volunteers. It fluctuates. And what we task them with is we align them up with a specific route. So we glean from, I think, 6 New Seasons, like 4 Whole Foods, 2 of the Zupans, the City Market.
Good stores.
And we do it, it's good food, and we do it multiple times a week. So let's say every Tuesday night we pick up from New Seasons Arbor Lodge, and we need a volunteer to do it And so they kind of take on that role.
So do they take on the role of picking it up? So you have a volunteer go to
Yeah.
that store, pick it up, bring it to your distribution center, and then you have other people that maybe go through it and do you package it up?
Yeah,
in
we have a
certain
few
amount?
volunteers who kind of help us organize our distribution center, but mostly that happens with staff hours. And then we hardly do any repackaging as it comes
really?
in,
Good.
as it goes out. We do occasionally just get compost.
Oh,
You know, when you're
okay, yeah.
dealing with food that's
Yeah.
nearing the end of its life, sometimes if it's in our distribution center for a day or two, nothing stays there longer than 2 days, but it'll mold or whatever.
Yeah.
So we do try and kind of curate the food
compost it?
boxes.
I mean,
we do. The awesome
I
thing
love
is that
I love it.
Our peak season is summer. We generate about 1,000 pounds of compost each week.
Wow.
But we made a relationship with a pig farmer out in Dundee, and he comes in every Friday morning and he takes all of it.
Great.
He takes, and he feeds it to his pigs. And so besides the compost and the food going out, we have almost no waste stream.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. You know, I love the relationships and how we can help each other, the symbiotic relationships.
yeah.
You did this, I'll do this, and it all works out great. I love that.
Yeah.
So what's Urban Gleaner's biggest need then? Do you need more people more stores and things to supply? Do you need more volunteers? Do you need donations? What's your biggest need?
we kind of need a little bit
Or
of
a yes.
everything.
Is
Yeah,
yes
yeah.
the answer to that?
We were just going gangbusters this year. We increased our staff by 50%. We went from 2 to 3, and we historically our winters are pretty lean. We get, just from the PSU farmers market alone during the summer, we get 400 to 500 pounds a week of greens. So you can imagine the volume. It's not just root vegetables, it's greens.
Well, there's so much more growing in
Yeah,
the summer.
yeah.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
But then, and in our winters we're lean, but this year it's been, we've been packed. But that doesn't mean that we can't still capture more of the food that's making it into the landfill that doesn't actually need to be there.
It's such a great thing to be able to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so irritating to know that so much of that food just goes to waste.
Right, yeah.
So the food that you get, is it all unprepared food?
We've actually started, we have the capacity now to take prepared food, so we have a really wonderful relationship with Bon Appetit Catering Company, and they cater at Reed College and Lewis and Clark College. They cater Intel, the Intel campus, and we glean the food from their cafeterias.
Great.
It's amazing food, but what we have to do is then break it down, because if it comes to us in this 100-pound plastic container, it's hard for the schools to deal with that.
Yeah.
So we are now in the business of breaking down and repackaging food, but just that's a smaller part of our food waste, our food stream.
So how are you supported? How is Urban Gleaner supported?
Well, I think that most importantly is our volunteers. I mean, we couldn't do what we do without them. We expect them to do an amazing amount of work for us, and they always provide. Do you mean
financially,
funding?
do you get
Yeah.
funding from government funding, or is it all private donations or grants? Or?
We actually receive no government funding. That's a big task to get government grant money.
It's a real headache.
Yeah, as it stands, a large part of our budget comes through our own fundraisers. So this year, I think, is the 3rd year we're in the Willamette Week Give Guide.
Which is great.
Yeah,
Great.
it's been amazing for us.
Well, it brings a lot of attention. Being in that Willamette Week Give Guide gives a lot of attention to nonprofits that maybe otherwise wouldn't get it.
Right,
so,
yeah.
So good for you.
Yeah, it's been a boon for us. And then, but outside of that, we do our own personal mailer, and so our 2014 mailer is coming up. And
so how many, do you have one fundraising drive a year, a couple of them, or?
Yeah, we have our mailer, and then.
And is that just for the winter time,
Yeah, it usually goes out around the holidays.
Okay.
This year it's going out a little bit later than, this is technically our 2013 mailer, but it'll be going out in 2014.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's just letting people know what you're doing and asking them for donations.
Exactly, yeah. And that's a big part of our revenue stream. And then we do, we get some private family foundations as well. But the other thing that we were kind of speaking about beforehand was we do a fundraiser dinner where we invite people into our space, and we cook them a multi-coursed meal made entirely out of gleaned food.
I think that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me just a little bit about that.
This last time it was this last September, and we invited in a guest chef, a Portland chef, who has a really illustrious career in the Portland food scene.
And we have quite a few of those in Portland, don't we?
Yeah, and he spent about a month with us, and he'd come in every day, and he'd pull food that he knew he could prepare or preserve in some way. So he was making things a full month up to the meal. So we made our own
try the food?
cheese. Oh my God, it was amazing. Yeah,
I'd love to be in on that.
yeah.
Okay, sure, I'll try that for you.
Yeah. There was cheese, and there was romesco, and he made this wonderful salad, and he made. There's proteins and meats, and he's also a baker by trade, so he brought in these beautiful table loaves. It was a really wonderful experience, and I think for a lot of people it was amazing to see what Glean food looks like, because it doesn't
It's not
look
just
crummy.
leftovers. It's not just somebody's scrapings off their plate. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And so how many people can attend that event?
This last one was 25 people, but we're looking to increase it for the next round, which will be happening next summer.
Next summer, okay. So we
Yeah.
can probably check your website.
Yeah.
Keep up on that.
Yes, please do.
I think you brought some pictures of some volunteers, and maybe we could take a look at that and see what your volunteers are doing. I don't think they've shown those yet.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like the volunteers are a very crucial part of your organization. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, now what are we looking at here?
Yeah, so the kind of the other half of our organization is once we drop the food off at these schools, they have an amazing amount of work to do. They have family volunteers from the school, usually students, parents, who run their food pantries, and that's how they distribute the food. So this was one of our summer food pantries that we were running at, I believe it's Cherry Park Elementary, but I could be wrong.
But out in this area, right?
Yeah. And so these are the kids. That's a nice one because you can see the people lining up to.
Wow, these are people
to
lined
shop.
up to get.
Yeah.
So they get to shop for the food, like they.
Yeah, we kind of set it up like a farmer's market, and then they come through and they usually bring their own bag or box, and they take what they want. It takes very
Do they have
little.
to pay for some of it? No.
It's all free.
So
yeah.
they're shopping, but without having to pay
Yeah,
for
free
it.
shopping. Yeah,
Free
which is
shopping.
the best kind of
Yeah,
shopping. Yeah, and
Look at all
the
that
one on the
produce.
left is a nice picture because that's actually a pickup that's happening. We pick up directly from Sauvie Island Organic twice a
nice.
week. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So
Good
that was
stuff.
a volunteer who went. I think throughout the summer of 2012, she went every Thursday and picked up.
Wow.
And it's whatever they have left over from their CSA that just didn't make it out into a CSA
Oh,
share,
really?
and it's not worth it to them to bring it to a farmer's market.
Huh.
So we get
and
amazing stuff.
certainly shouldn't go to waste. So how
Right,
great
yeah.
is that?
Yeah, I like to think that we do. I mean, they do an amazing amount of work for us and share their food
But
with
you're
us.
helping them too.
Yeah, I like to think that
Well,
we
it's like
do
with
something
the-
for them.
It's
Yeah,
like the relationship with the pig farmer. It's the
Yeah.
same kind of thing. You know, you're helping each other. So that's a great way to do it.
yeah.
So tell me about when at the schools you say they have an amazing amount of work to do. So what do the schools have to do? If a school wanted to be involved and work with urban gleaners,
Yeah.
they'd have to have families or volunteers of some kind who would have to commit to working every week doing what?
Yeah. Well, we actually don't see too much of that side, but I know that we get people solicit us all the times. Other nonprofits, shelters, churches, mostly schools, and they say, we want your food. And it's a process to start this program, and we will often walk through it with people. And sometimes it takes off, and sometimes it
Sometimes
fails.
it's too much.
And what we found is if it takes an amazing amount of manpower and hours on their
Probably
end.
somebody to organize it too.
Exactly, and to find a classroom and to find basically just a champion, either in the student community or in the staff community.
But what a bonus to that community once you get it going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's exciting. I love it. I think that's just such a great thing. I remember first time I ever heard the word gleaners years ago, I thought, what the heck is a gleaner? I had no clue what that meant. And, and it just makes such perfect sense. Before we run out of time, Ava, what else should we know about urban gleaners, or how can people get involved and help?
Yeah, we're always looking for volunteers. Like I said, we're growing and we're growing and we're growing. We're increasing our capacity all the time, and every time we make a new relationship, with a new food donor, we need more volunteers to pick up that food.
Okay, good. And then what is this? We have up on the screen something. What's for dinner? What is it? Tell me what that is.
This is our 2014 mailer that we were talking about, and
okay.
It's special because we've had a long-standing relationship with Kate Barker over at Cherry Park Elementary. She's the principal there, and we asked her to ask her students what they had for dinner. And so she went to about 40 of her students and gave them a paper plate and said, please draw what you had for dinner the night before. And at the end of the week, she handed us this stack of paper plates, and it was heartbreaking what came back. We had 1 or 2 nothings, we had a couple of Doritos and crackers, and some Taco Bell, and then we had spaghetti and hot dog and salad. So it really ran the gamut, but it was representative of the statistic that 1 out of 10 kids in Oregon suffers from food insecurity.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. I
Yeah.
didn't know that's what that represented. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Well, we're out of time, Ava, but that really brings it home as
Yeah.
why this is important. So thank you for the good work that you do. And at this holiday season, this is a good time for people to remember. It's a season to give. So if they can make a donation, or if they're interested in volunteering any time of year, or donating in any way, then we can go to your website, find out more information, or we should have the information on the screen.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching this first segment on Community Hotline. Don't go away. We have more wonderful people that are going to come on and share with you the good work they're doing in your community. So stay with us.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
You want some tips? I got some tips for you. I'm the county health officer. I got some tips. You ready? Don't do that. Do not do that. That is not what you... Bad. That is bad. This is what you want. You ready? Here's my tip. Did you notice that form? Look at that. I block the sneeze into the elbow, not the hand. The hand, bad. Hi, nice to meet you. You don't want to shake this hand. This hand is getting in the way of your health. Much better. Have a good flu season.
KZME Radio is a new station that is committed to entertain, inspire, and connect our community through programming that celebrates local music, arts, and culture. It was created to put local music and local arts on local radio, and it is a vehicle for our creative community to gain exposure while also celebrating what the Portland metro area has to offer.
Hi, I'm Ellie Wesley, and I love KZME because it's a great resource to find out about awesome music in our community. They have hip-hop and pop and chamber folk and pretty acoustic music, and they have everything that we have in Northwest. You should support KZME to support these local artists and the awesome music that you can find.
For more information on how to support and get involved with 1071 FM KZME Radio, see our website, www.1071fm.org. KZME Radio, music where you live.
Have you ever wanted to create a TV show of your own? Come check out the basic editing class at MetroEast. Our trainers will give you the skills you need to flex your creative muscles. Using our state-of-the-art IMAX and Final Cut Pro 10, you can work with your own videos, add graphics and music, and even drop in cool special effects like green screen and slow motion. The best part? No experience is required. All ages and skill levels are welcome. Find out more on our website at metroeast.org.
Hi, welcome to Community Hotline. I'm glad you stayed with us. Now I have a couple of my favorite people here. Returning guests, I have Rebecca LaPrinzi and Rebecca LaPrinzi. So good to have you both here. Mother and daughter looking lovely tonight, I might add. Oh my goodness, I love the hats. You look very classy, very pretty. So you are involved with Rita's Place. You are actually the founder, are you not?
I'm the director.
The director.
Sister Mary Vitoli was the founder.
That's right, Sister Mary Vitoli from Mississippi. Right?
Well, she was from Maryhurst College, but she was down. She was sent
I'm
by
getting
the
my stories mixed up, but I remember this story.
Yeah, she was sent by the Archbishop to go down to Mississippi to help teach art in the schools, which is a very fascinating story because they didn't have any materials. So she used some toilet paper and some cardboard. And now she sells her art and gives to charity for thousands.
Lots of money. Yeah, that.
But it was all
worth a lot. So
I have been the director for 18 years.
That's a long time, Rebecca. So tell viewers who may not know exactly what Rita's Place does. I mean, you kind of cover a huge range of services, but give me in a nutshell what your mission is.
Well, we help heal and empower individuals or families that have been through trauma, that maybe their house has burned down, maybe they have no family, they're senior now and they have very little family in the area, or they have escaped domestic violence, or they have been in a car accident, anyone that is at a disadvantage.
Which covers a lot.
That covers a lot of folks, yeah.
Yeah, so you have all sorts of ways to help them. And I know, I'll cheat here and look at some of the things that I know you do. You have education scholarship funds. You have a cultural arts facility, shelter sites, cars, transportation, education to get grants. You provide things like clothing. Right now you're doing a winter clothing drive, is that right?
It's a winter warming drive for coats and blankets and hats and socks.
All the things that keep people warm during the winter.
Yes, and you'd be amazed, a lot of little children don't have undergarments. So socks and new socks and undergarments for the winter to stay warm.
I'll be darned.
Scarves, hats, blankets.
Anything to keep you warm during the winter. Because and it's been pretty cold lately here too. I can imagine. And you're up in the Sandy area, which is even a little colder probably.
Yes,
because
east
you're up
of
a little
Sandy
higher.
as well. We serve the mountain area from downtown Portland to the mountain area.
Wow. Okay.
Over to Damascus and down to Bull Run.
So it's a pretty wide
variety of folks that we have assisted. Although in our scholarship fund for medical treatment, therapies, or medical equipment that maybe insurance doesn't cover, or dental, or that you don't have any insurance at all, recipients from the whole state are eligible.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Oh, wow.
We partner up with Masonic Temple, the Scottish Rite, Eastern Star, and they have every single person that we have brought to them, they have helped.
Oh, wow, that's great. What a good feeling, huh?
Yes. Yeah. When the economy was better, they would give $2,000 to $7,000 per recipient. Now it's usually $500 to $2,000.
But anything's going to help.
So people tell us that it has saved their children, saved their babies that were dying, or things like that. That we've outreach to migrant Hispanic farm workers and Asian and people that have that work in the fields that have little and maybe no insurance at all. And some of those families really are so deeply appreciated by
And a lot of those people, if they're not from here originally or don't have English as a first language, it's hard for them perhaps to know how to get that help.
Yes.
You know, so having you there is, I'm sure, is a huge boon.
Well, and it's a wonderful program that we're starting with Vista Loop in Sandy. It's a migrant farmer housing and center, and we're doing a language exchange program. It came out of our university to prison books program, because we gave over 40,000 books to the to the prisons.
I know, that's
from
amazing.
the universities that were just a few years old. They were new books, nice books that are helping the inmates. We really try to help halt cycles. When two little boys told me they want to be there like their father, and I said, well, what does your father do? He says, in prison, one said. And then when I brought a child to visit their parents in prison, the man said, when I was a little boy, I came here to visit my father, and I sat at the very same table.
Oh, wow.
So I thought, well, what
so you
can
see
we
the cycle,
do here?
yeah.
And so we saw all these university books, beautiful textbooks. I said, well, educate. Why don't we let them? So if the father or the mother was going to get a college or undergraduate degree or some kind of technical degree for workshop or some mechanics or building, then maybe the child would want to do that too.
Right,
and so, and the universities were just throwing their books out. And so we were very fortunate, because now the prisons are saying that, and especially when they're reading, interesting enough, the books in philosophy, the classics, there's zero recidivism.
Really?
They've been doing it for 6 years now, so the study isn't that big, but they said there has been zero recidivism when they're reading Socrates, Plato's, but a lot of the inmates are taking correspondence classes on subjects they never imagined. And so,
and what a great boost for their self-confidence too, because going into prison has got to be a real blow to one. No matter what the situation is, that's got to mess with your confidence. But being able to take those classes and learn something and be, taking those online courses, and I mean, to me, that would just give you hope for your future.
Yes.
Like you said, breaking the cycle.
Yes, and I always say that a lot of us make mistakes, some of us get caught.
You're so right.
And also
You're so
people
right.
at a disadvantage sometimes don't have a lawyer to bail them out.
Yeah.
From that program, we had, the prisons will only take so many books of the same book. So we had a lot of language exchange programs, ESL, Spanish, Italian, German, Chinese. And so what we're doing is we're having an exchange program with some of the migrant women and men and children that don't speak English. The children are speaking, but it brings a gap between the families when the children start to go to school. So there was a lot of volunteers or donors that had Caucasian, for instance, that want to learn Spanish. So I said, well, why don't we do an hour, and you each spend a half an hour teaching each other. And so we have all the books. The PCC gave us 5 boxes of spirals, so we even have all the spirals. We have this site. We're starting this program up in the first of the year, and we have the location, and then we'll also do some exchange cooking classes, so
fun.
the women can learn the language and learn the cultural and the food and train.
That's a great idea, Rebecca.
So they're all excited about it.
Besides the fact that I like food a lot.
Yeah.
It's a great way for them to bond too, and
That's
form
the key.
friendships.
That's
and then
the
when
key.
you're talking, you learn so much more in a situation like that instead of an artificial situation. But cooking, that's a great
and
idea.
unite instead of
I
divide
love
the
it.
community in the cultures, and appreciate each other's culture.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And,
yes, and just learning something new is wonderful. How about you, Rebecca? Do you get to help out? Do you get to help Mom with some stuff? What do you get to do?
I get to help donate books.
Do you?
And I get to help my brothers.
You've got 2 gorgeous little brothers, don't you?
And what about the clothes? Sort and...
I get to help sort clothes.
Yeah.
And help donate those to others that don't have them.
Deliver them.
Good.
She's right.
I know that you're a big help. Now, and Rebecca here was recently on our holiday special. We have a holiday special, for those who don't know, a holiday program here at MetroEast where we have different musical groups, high school choirs and such come in and perform, and then we have nonprofits do greetings to the community, and you and your boys did a lovely greeting to the community, but you got to perform for us, and I think we have a little bit of that we want to show, if you don't mind. Can we show that now? Oh, good. Okay. We'll show a little bit of Rebecca playing her violin in our Holiday Open Studio program. Okay, let's watch it now. How great is that? That was pretty darn good, girl. How do you feel about that? You think you did a pretty good job?
Yes.
Yes, you should be proud of yourself. So, do others, the music, do you involve music and art and that kind of thing in your program at all?
Oh, a big part and empowerment of our program, because we are a healing and empowerment center, is through art and music therapy. And we've been very fortunate to partner up with the Snowman Foundation and other organizations. Potter Instruments had given us 2 violins. Then we had Schubach gave us 2 violins. And then we were able to give 10 very nice pianos to families and have them delivered to families of children that would have never been able to have a piano and play music. And through our therapies, music, art, and horse therapy, children have healed from conditions where they had been through the traditional medical path and unable to attain wellness. And so it's been very magical to see this process.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Do you get to play with some of these kids ever, or do you know any of these kids that go through the art programs or the music programs, or do you do yours separately, you think?
Sometimes I get to meet them and talk to them as cousins and friends.
Oh, nice. As cousins and friends. I like that. I like that. You have quite a good talent at that in music. Actually, if I remember correctly, she has quite a few talents.
Well, and the thing is, we see the university, the universe, and this human race as we're all relatives. So when Rebecca goes in and other children go in, that maybe children that are autistic and that are performing or singing and learning music and healing by music, go into the seniors' retirement homes to perform.
And they love that.
And sometimes into the intensive care units, and they've asked year after year for the children to come back. They're all our grandmothers and grandfathers. And all of the little children, we're all relatives. We're cousins, we're sisters and brothers, no matter what ethnic background or religion that you believe in. We have aunts and uncles. In fact, Aaron Myers has donated his time to give music lessons to some of the children.
Wow. And he's fairly well renowned.
Very busy man.
Yeah.
And Howard Henninger has sponsored some of these musicians. They brought him over to the music camp every year that Tim Ellis and Aaron have in a number of different areas. And so we have gotten people that have more than they could use to give to people that would never have these opportunities. And in the meantime, in fact, this Uncle Monkey, Uncle Aaron, is he loves Thailand, and they go to Thailand, and they're native from Thailand, and so we have a lot of fun with even the animals are our cousins. In fact.
I love it. You know, and we're out of time, and this has gone way too fast because I had more questions for you, but we'll get you next time, okay? But I'm so glad you're here, and you're doing such amazing work and cover such a huge area. So I know that you need help always. So donations, whether they be the food, books, music.
And we're having a toy drive coming up. But if you know anyone that needs something, that's what we're here for. That's really why we came today. If there was somebody that needed something, an outreach. So if you know a child or someone that in need, please call. That's really the key.
And we'll have the website information, your nice new website information on the screen so people can go there too.
And thank you for
your
work.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you for listening to find out about Rita's Place. You do amazing work, and it's so nice having the Rebeccas here. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Zarephath, the Kitchen and Pantry, and they have all sorts of information to share with you too, so please stay with us.
Hello, I'm Rebecca LaPrinzi from Rita's Place in Sandy, Oregon. Rita's Place provides assistance to those in need in our community in many ways. We organize clothing drives, arrange for emergency medical and dental funds, and provide education on food preparation, among other things. And that is just a small portion of the services we strive to have available. We could not do this without the support of our community. We would like to thank everyone who has supported Rita's Place this year. And to all of you from Rita's Place, we wish you a very merry, happy holiday.
Have a nice day. Have a nice day.
Community television is what participatory democracy is about.
Like my friend Laird Ross says, it's the last great American soapbox.
It gives me a voice.
And I'm glad it's available.
It's incredibly important to protect a place where all users of locally based nonprofit media have a place to speak and share their stories.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European pro golf tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 88. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism.
That's it? That's it. Oh, hey, did you see that? Did you see that? You know what that was? That was the flu shot. That was the flu shot. You know what that means, don't you? The flu shot means my white cells are getting ready to roll for this winter. My white cells are ready to say, hey, bring it on, flu, we're ready for you. That's the flu shot. You know what that means? That means my chance of going to get the flu this year just dropped. It also means my chance of seeing a doctor just dropped as well. You know what else it means? It means my daughter and my parents, they're not gonna probably get the flu from me. I feel great! Have you gotten your flu shot?
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm glad you stayed with us. We have one last segment here, and it's an important one. We're going to be talking with Zarephath Kitchen and Pantry, and they do work here in this community, and Here to talk to us about it is Diane Davis, who is the president of Zarephath Ministries, and Brian McCann, you are a board member.
Yes.
And you are also the chair of the fundraising chair, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Diane, I want to start with you if I can. If you can just tell me a little bit about the ministries and what exactly your mission is in the community.
Basically, Zarephath Kitchen and Pantry are an outreach for providing food to the community for people who live in the East County area, essentially. We're a nonprofit, as you've said. We're a volunteer-run program. We've been around, the kitchen's been around. It started in 1985.
A couple of ladies. That's a long time.
Yeah, a couple of ladies that were members of Trinity Lutheran Church decided to, some people needed some meals, and they started doing it. And as it progressed, it went from 3 days a week to 5 days a week, and it's been going on since then.
Now, this isn't open just to members of the church now,
No,
however.
it's to all comers.
Okay. Anybody that needs the food.
Anybody that says they're hungry can come in. We provide a lunch, basically Monday through Fridays, and on Sunday it goes from 11 to 1, and it's basically you come, you sit down, and they are able to seat 32 people at a time. And
so these are prepared meals. This isn't going and getting a food box.
No.
It is going and actually having a
meal.
A hot meal often.
It's often, for some people, it may be their only meal of the day, maybe their
wow.
only hot meal of the day.
Yeah.
It's
And how often again is it?
It's Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Well, and Sunday.
And Sundays.
There's Sunday through Friday, basically.
Yes, basically.
Saturday you're on your own.
Yeah, Saturday you're on.
Yeah. You need a break once in a while. Yeah.
Well, it's, as Diane mentioned, we're an all-volunteer organization,
Yeah.
so the problem is getting people to volunteer
Correct.
to open the kitchen on that day.
Well, having it Monday through Friday and Sunday, that's pretty darn good if you've got volunteers that many days. 'cause
Well,
that's a
we're
lot of
very
work.
fortunate, especially for the Sunday. East Hill Church helps us out immensely there. So
Good, good.
yeah.
So, give me an example of what do you think what did they serve today? Do you have any idea what they might have served? What would be a typical lunch?
It could be anything from spaghetti and meatballs to, gee whiz,
Like hot
of course,
soup and sandwich?
There's
or-
always homemade soup. It can be sloppy
pies,
joes.
They could have
All
pies,
right.
sloppy joes. I mean, of course, Thanksgiving, they cooked turkeys
Did
and
they?
served,
Yes.
served a Thanksgiving meal. You know, it's whatever we can put together. I mean, it may be burgers one day.
I'm hungry right now. That sounds good.
Well, and basically the premise is there's a hot entree of some sort. There's always salad. There's coffee. There's milk, juice, and a dessert.
Great. So it's a nice balanced
It's a
meal.
balanced meal. It's a place where if they're still hungry and they still have food available, there's seconds. And it's basically a place where people can go in, have a meal. It's warm. It's dry. And it's good food.
What about a sense of community? Do people talk when they're in there together? Do they sit together at tables, or do people kind of come in and just eat and go?
No, there's definitely a community among the people that attend and take advantage of the opportunity to be there. There's also an opportunity, the workers, you know, we have shifts basically. The Monday crew is the Monday crew. They're there virtually each Monday. And they get to know the people who come, and there is
some regulars there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and there's some sense of community that way too, a connection. The people will talk about individuals, and of course, our goal is to help people eventually not need our services, and you know, maybe come back and help us serve.
Have you had that happen? Have you had that happen? Where
Yes.
somebody's gotten out of the situation they're in and come back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is ideal.
More so in the pantry than in the kitchen, but in both places we've seen people who have succeeded and then come back to help pay back, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
Or they'll we'll get a letter and they'll send in a check, and they'll
great.
say, "Yeah, I used your services, and thank you, and here you go."
Doesn't that make you feel good when you know you've made a difference? I mean, because
Yes.
sometimes that's huge. What about families? Do you get families in there? They're mostly individuals, yeah?
And we get families also, and you can see the variation when school's in and when school's not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. During the summertime, we do see more families showing up because their school perhaps doesn't have a free meal.
A lot of them don't
set up.
anymore. A lot of them have had that cut, so that makes it really difficult. So when people, how do people What do they do? What, do people just show up, or do they have to sign up ahead of time to take advantage of the free meal if somebody in this community is hungry and
Free meal, it's basically, they open at 11 and usually there's a line out. It's a house located next to Trinity Lutheran Church.
Okay.
And
that's on Powell and Eastman. Okay.
Trinity's on Powell and Eastman. The house is on Ava, Northwest Ava.
And they basically access it through the parking lot of Trinity.
Okay.
They go through the back.
Find the church, they can find the house.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of signage.
Yeah, we have signs that way. But they basically go there and they line up and they...
And serve until the food's gone?
Yep,
Or
basically.
Or until the time is up? Or?
If they run out of food, of what they've been prepared, they'll find other things.
Oh, really? I bet they're pretty innovative that way, huh?
Well, it helps that the pantry's downstairs.
Okay.
And so I've been down there often enough when somebody's come down from the kitchen to the pantry and said, we need more of something. And so,
it goes upstairs.
Yeah, it goes upstairs and we feed the hungry that way.
So how long have you two been involved with this?
Wow, let's see. I've been doing it about 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
I've been on the board 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. So. And as a fundraising chair, what do you do, Brian? How do you raise funds? How are you supported?
Well, we are supported mainly by private donations. They come in multiple different ways, just individuals. We have several churches that support us. They take collections at regular intervals and send us money that way. We've had in the past a dinner, an annual Mardi Gras dinner that we sell tickets to and invite the community to participate in. That helps us raise funds. This year, 2013, we had our first annual Bite of East County.
Oh, okay.
Modeled a little bit after the Bite of Oregon.
Right.
It was held in Fairview, and the Fairview Business Association helped organize it and put it together for us. And we raised $5,000 through this first-time event. We had about 1,200 people attend.
It was really nice.
1,200, that's great.
And it was really good. All of the food vendors were very happy with the turnout. And
good. So you'll probably do it again.
Yeah, we've got 2014. We've already been meeting with potential sponsors and working on. We've got a date set.
So we can keep going with this one.
Yeah, it's really important. We see that as a critical opportunity for us to raise funds. Right now in the pantry, we allow a family to come in 6 times a year and get food boxes, and they get a 3-day
so you do food boxes
yes.
too.
Right. That's the pantry.
Okay, gotcha.
So you've got the kitchen upstairs, you have the pantry downstairs. The pantry, there is a requirement that you're in East County. You have to live east of 181st, but
so
Damascus, Boring, Troutdale, Wood Village. So that's where people come and get 3-day boxes that they're going to cook at home. So that's where we serve a lot of people. In order to allow them to come once a month instead of only 6 times a year, we basically need to double our donation income. And so we're looking at growing the Bite of East County as a way to successfully do that, because we really do believe that in a couple of years that could be raising $30,000 to $50,000 per event, and that would help significantly.
And if it was that successful last year, now because we're non-commercial television, we can't say ticket prices on the air, but I remember that the ticket prices last year were very reasonable, very, very reasonable.
Yes.
I can't say what they were, but even right there, even to raise them a little bit, I think you'd still get people to attend.
Yeah.
I planned on it last year and I wasn't able to, so I hope I can this year. But
we also had people bring in cans of food also in lieu of some donations. They brought food.
Okay.
And so we got pounds of food that way also.
Oh, good. Yeah. So you got money, you got food. It sounds like a good deal. Where do you get your food normally?
All sorts of places.
Yeah.
We collect, not unlike the Gleaners that were on earlier, we have several companies, Safeway, Walmart, various other grocery stores that we go and we glean from. We also draw on the Oregon Food Bank and get food through them.
All these organizations
Birch
working together,
communities.
businesses and nonprofits working together makes a huge difference.
Oh,
it's the only way to do it.
It's the only way you can survive.
Yeah, it is.
donated food, we go through at the pantry almost $300,000 worth of food a year right now. And so you can see how much, I mean, in order for us to double what we give out, we've got to be able to come up with funds for that, because, I mean, we're doing a pretty good job of gleaning food, but we may have to buy more poundage from, and so that's why we need a way to generate more funds, find more donors. That's what we're looking for. And so as fundraising chair, I'm looking at ways to generate that money and create a better public awareness. I mean, that's the other side of it. I mean, we've kept ourselves pretty secreted here in the community.
Well, not anymore. Now we're going to get you out in the community. So,
and that's what we're trying to do. Is you know, I mean, we have a website now, and we have a direct donate button on that website. So if people come to that site, they can see that it's real easy. They can use PayPal. They can use their credit card.
Make it simple for them.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So you can use donations of money and food and volunteers?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We need all of those.
Okay.
And then this time of year, socks.
Oh, okay.
Okay, bring socks down to the pantry.
Get a lunch, get a pair of socks.
That's one of the churches. Abundant Life does an annual soup and socks, and we just got it just before Thanksgiving, the Saturday before. They delivered a U-Haul truck full of food and socks.
How wonderful!
And it's been, they've done it a couple of years, and we've been one of their recipients of.
That's great.
It's wonderful.
But you hear about, you know, on the news, people who just go around in Portland and give out socks, and you know, you think, really? But it is. It's amazing what a pair of socks can do.
If you have wet, soggy
holes in your
socks.
socks and they're wet, nothing makes you more miserable. And how good to come home and put on a warm pair of socks if you have a home to go to, you know. Diane, before we run out of time, tell me, you've been there 5 years. Have you seen a change from when you started to now? This is the number of people that are needing help in this community.
Right, our volumes have gone up. I've been a member of Trinity Church before that, but I hadn't worked directly with the Zarephath. You know, we've gone up each year. We served, like in meals last year, 2012, we served 41, almost 42,000 meals.
Wow, that's a lot of food.
And when it comes to in the pantry, the people we served was 14,000, almost 14,200. That's just the people served, and then we gave them 3 days worth of food. And so if you can start figuring out how many meals a day, I mean, they basically go through our pantry. They select the food, so we know it's food that they like, and they will cook.
Oh, good. Good. So you're not wasting.
It's like a grocery store. They go through.
I think that's a great way to do it, because otherwise, why take home?
So, but we have gone up.
Cook rice, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what do you see? What do you see as your biggest need right now at the holiday season? Is it just any of those things, or is it anything in particular?
Money or food is you know, I mean, that's always
proteins.
Protein. Oh yeah.
You know, we can buy with $1 more than what a person can buy with $1, and so
if you can give
money,
the food, great, but if the money would go further.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, we'll take whatever.
And
volunteers are hopefully a long-term commitment, so we need them all year long. Right now, the pantry is not open on Tuesdays. Again, we don't have a shift.
But if you got the volunteers.
But if we could have volunteers, and it's tough because it's during the middle of the day, so a lot of people who say they would like to volunteer really can't commit to a weekly commitment in the middle of the day.
There might be somebody out there that has Tuesday as their day off.
Correct.
This is
true. I have Friday's my day off. You know, some people have a weekday off, and maybe they really want something to do. So hopefully that person will be listening and give you a call, because it sounds like with any volunteer work, I think you get back more than you ever put into it anyway. So
would agree.
Yeah,
definitely. And that's the other thing, is this is a 100% a volunteer-run organization.
Absolutely.
There's nobody that's paid
staff.
staff.
Well, thank you for the work that you both do, and to all of your volunteers. So thanks very much.
You're welcome.
We're out of time. It's gone very fast. I appreciate you being on here, and I wish you all the success this holiday season in feeding these people, and I hope that you both have a very happy holiday too.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you so much for watching Community Hotline tonight. As you can tell, we have organizations that are taking care of our community in a number of ways. I don't know what people here would do if we didn't have St. Vincent de Paul, if we had the Urban Gleaners, we had Zarephath, and all the other organizations that we've talked to tonight. They're they're making a difference in our community, and they're helping to keep us alive and to connect us with each other. So please be generous, give of your time, give of your money, your food, whatever you can do this holiday season. And to all of you, I hope you have a very happy holiday. I'm Monica Weitzel. This is Community Hotline.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
You want some tips? I got some tips for you. I'm the county health officer. I got some tips. You ready? Don't do that. Do not do that. That is not what you... Bad. That is bad. This is what you want. You ready? Here's my tip. Did you notice that form? Look at that. I block the sneeze into the elbow, not the hand. The hand, bad. Hi, nice to meet you. You don't want to shake this hand. This hand is getting in the way of your health. Much better. Have a good flu season.
Have you ever wanted to create a TV show of your own? Come check out the basic editing class at MetroEast. Our trainers will give you the skills you need to flex your creative muscles. Using our state-of-the-art IMAX and Final Cut Pro 10, you can work with your own videos, add graphics and music, and even drop in cool special effects like green screen and slow motion. The best part? No experience is required. All ages and skill levels are welcome. Find out more